Hello, and welcome to Live and Wired Episode 5. It ain't over till it's over!
Hey, what's that from? The 80s?
What? Oh god, I hear myself screaming like an idiot. That's what everyone started to? Oh gee, okay. Paused it on my end. I am so sorry, everyone. I just realized how terrible of an experience that must have been for all of you.
Patricia and I are immunized by now.
Yes, pretty much. I mean, how long have we known each other? For almost 6 years at this point, so yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, but welcome to Live and Wired Episode 5. It ain't over till it's over, and this episode bye week, we are still joined by that long-haired creepy guy and Patricia, because, you know, it's kind of it's our show. It's all three of us. It's how it works.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
So, I have no idea what I'm doing already, because I am just... It just makes fun weeks.
I'm eating potato chips.
Fun weeks, fun time. Fortunately, Patricia is here to, keep everything mostly stable.
As usual.
You have no idea just how much you can thank her for the fact that the entire show exists.
I do my best. Trust me, I've been moderating for many podcasts and live shows over the years, so I do have a little bit of experience. All right, so I guess we can get started on a major announcement that has been around for a while, but it was confirmed not too long ago on a particular celebrity's Instagram account. So let me just pull that up right here. So we have here that we are going to be having a Creed 2. We're going to have a sequel to the movie that involved with Adonis Creed, who was Apollo Creed's son, and Rocky Balboa was his trainer. From the looks of this poster right here, so look who's back. We have Dolph Lundgren as Ivan Drago. And according to the article that is from ladbible.com, this is his son, and there's basically going to be like a redemption match between Adonis Creed, who is the son of Apollo Creed, and as you've known from Rocky IV, Ivan Drago killed Apollo Creed during their match, and so it's actually going to be interesting to have the son of Creed versus the son of Ivan Drago going up against each other.
Yes. When I saw the poster, it got me excited because I was like, "Ooh, Dolph Lundgren! Still don't know how to pronounce your name, but I know you."
Yes, I know you from some movies. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Yes, that's like that. I know him from 2 movies, okay, and neither one of them have anything to do with Rocky. The first one is, as Patricia named, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Severely, but really awful, but really wonderful movie at the same time. And the second one is
a train wreck.
Right, and the second one, I'm blanking on the name of it, but I'm pretty sure either Patricia or Decker will be able to help me with. It was the one that he starred in alongside Brandon Lee.
Ooh, is that what's it called? It's not The Crow.
It's not The Crow. No.
Oh, darn. It's not the Punisher.
I need to let me Google this. Maybe
you Google that. Yeah.
Brandon Lee.
So bad. We could also ask the
Showdown in Little Tokyo. That was the name of it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, those are the 2 that I most remember.
We got an interesting question from Trey Stewart here. What do you think Ivan Drago thought of the Soviet Union falling?
Ooh, that's actually a really good question.
Where do I buy steroids from now?
A whole lot has happened in Russia since the last time we saw Ivan Drago.
Yeah, that is true. It's like what James Rolfe said in his Rocky IV review. Rocky IV ended the Cold War.
Rocky winning ended the Cold War. Never mind all that other stuff they teach you in
yes, exactly.
Books, put down Rocky ended the Cold War and you will pass your exams.
Yes,
I passed them. I did, but then again, that's why I'm not a professor. Kind of like why I'm not a doctor.
Anyway, so
I just had a mental picture. I'm sorry, I have to interject. I had a mental picture. Okay, everyone think of this. You're lying on a slab in the hospital. You're about to have major surgery. And then the sound of a door opens and you look up and Decker Shado has walked into the room holding surgical implements.
Wow.
I think you'd feel a little safer if Dr. Nick showed up.
That
Dr.
would be-
Shado, Dr. Nick, Dr. Shado, Dr. Nick.
Yes. Going into discussion. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Creed 2? I think there'll be kind of a interesting story of revenge and redemption and unfinished business.
My hope is it gets a little more into the Creed character. There was a lot of building of the Creed character in the original Creed, but Creed still felt very much like Rocky 7 because Rocky, a major character, still involved. He's had a lot of stuff going on in Creed, and I feel like, his position as a character was kind of like
I'm more important. Pay attention
I'm
to
trying to
me.
remember his name. Mick?
Hmm.
Is that his name? From the first Rocky?
Oh, the first Rocky?
I'm trying to remember it. Oh, it's been so long, and I'm just terrible. And
I think
I'm throwing myself with
it was the
rum
coach
last week.
Just
Oh,
that's how we all
Mickey,
remember it.
yeah.
Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Rocky's character in Creed was similar to Mickey, but Rocky's character in Creed had more character development than Mickey had in the entire Rocky series.
Well, that's because the figure of the coach is being played by Sylvester Stallone. This was not the case in the first Rocky movie, okay? Because Stallone is on camera, every camera has to be on him now.
I still feel like we need a little more drama going on with Adonis Creed, a little more character building for the title character.
Oh, I agree.
I really want that in Creed 2.
I wasn't disagreeing with you there. I'm just saying, it's because the coach is being played by Sylvester Stallone now. So, I kind of feel like this has the potential to be a better movie simply because of everything that Patricia mentioned. There's more gravity to it. He's this character, this young boxer is going to go up against the son of the man who murdered his father. So, there's all kinds of baggage there, that you can only really get in this type of scenario. So, immediately I find myself asking, what is going to happen?
Yeah. I mean, he's essentially fighting off the son of the man who killed his father.
Mm-hmm.
And Tav 001 isn't mentioning anything to do with Creed 2, but he's just saying, eat lightning and crap thunder.
Yes, that's what Mickey said in the which Rocky movie was that? Was that the first or the second?
I want to say it was the second one.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I am not the Encyclopedia Rocky Tanica, so
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, while talking about Rocky and Creed, some people are really skeptical about it, and some people are really excited about it. But there is another thing that also was talked about, that Ryan Coogler, who directed Creed, is not going to be involved in directing Creed 2 because he was busy doing Black Panther. So they got somebody else to direct Creed 2, and the name of the person is Stephen Cable or Cabal Jr. I don't know who that is. He did another movie called The Land, so that should be really interesting.
I can't tell you anything about this director, unfortunately. I got a blank space. So, Decker,
I would draw
ideas?
a blank, but I do not actually have a canvas to draw on, let alone the blank to draw on the canvas.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. If anyone is listening knows anything, just let us know. Because none of us. I've never heard of this guy. The Land.
Yeah,
was
The
that a
Land.
movie, a miniseries, a TV
I think it's a
show?
movie.
Nolan says he just saw Black Panther and was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like the director for Black Panther got the better end of this deal, so I can't really complain.
That's true.
Yeah. I haven't seen Black Panther yet, but I've heard good things about it. I've also heard some people say it's really overrated, but at the same time, it's still really good. So I don't know. Either way, it's gonna. As far as I can tell, it's still a good movie. So
Oh yeah, I went to see Early Man last week, and tickets for Black Panther were completely sold out, and I was in a matinee.
Whoa.
Yeah,
sold
I know.
out in a matinee.
Yes.
My family would have this thing. We'd have this little tradition. We see a new movie around the Ides of March. For some reason, it's just what we would do. But we'd get a matinee and we'd go out to dinner. That's what we'd do. And there would never be anyone, no matter how new the movie was, we'd usually be the only ones in the theater during the matinee. So to hear something sold out during a matinee is like, wow.
Right. Like my godmother and I, we used to go see movies. Like we would do pretty much the same thing. You know, it was always, I don't think we ever went to see a matinee. I ever went to see a movie that wasn't a matinee. We would go to like the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock show, whatever. And then we would go eat dinner afterwards. And I'm with you, Deckard. I don't think there was ever a movie that was sold out as a matinee, but here we go.
Yeah.
There's a reason why matinees tend to be priced considerably less. They have a difficult time getting people to show up at that period of time to watch a movie.
Agreed. But I also feel like that's the better time to go see a movie. If you can see it, go see it in the matinee. The theater is less crowded. It's cheaper. And you'll get out and still have plenty of time to do whatever else you want to do with the rest of your day.
Yeah, if only the popcorn cost only a third as much.
Morgan Welbert asks, how much is a matinee now? Well, when I went to go see Early Man, I paid $5 for my ticket. So,
yeah, that sounds about right.
So,
That's
and the popcorn is like 5 times as much.
Yeah. It's like $5 movie, $15 popcorn, and it's like this big too. You know,
back when I was in Houston, that's when I would do the reaction reviews over there. I'd try and find a new movie coming out around a time that I could get down to the theater, hop on the bus, go down to downtown Houston, watch the matinee, hop back on the bus, get home, record the reaction, upload it, and then struggle with Blip because it's just a piece of crap. But you know, it is what it is.
Does anyone have fond memories? This is completely off topic, but does anyone here have fond memories of Blip anymore? Like after what happened?
I got rejected from Blip immediately. Apparently, they don't accept podcasts in video form.
Conspired One says it's like $70 to go to the movies in Australia after popcorn and such.
So it's the same world over. The popcorn is the most expensive thing about.
It's like,
and it's not even worth it either.
Out for movie night, or do I want to buy an Xbox One X?
Right. Yeah. It's like the last time I got popcorn at the movie, it actually gave me, I think it was the flu or something. I don't know what it was, but I had an upset stomach afterwards. So it was definitely not worth buying the popcorn, at least not there.
Yes.
But,
and also,
Sacrament King says the first film they ever saw in the cinema was Jurassic Park. They were 6. They loved it then, and they love it just as much now. And the CGI still looks better than most CGI today. And I remember seeing Jurassic Park in the theaters a lot when I was a kid because Jurassic Park stayed in the theaters for a long time. They did not want to put that on video. But at the same time, there was a dollar theater near where I lived when I was around the time that came out. And so, you know, it was $1. Go to the dollar matinee at that theater. I mean, I'm old. I'm showing it.
Right. Nathan Manchester asked,
and we got to stay in there for hours, and it only was a nickel.
Right. Hey, Creepy. Nathan Manchester asks, "Hey, Creepy, show me your bobs. Do you have any bobbleheads?"
No, I do not. If I did have bobbleheads, I would show them to you. I might get slapped with an indecency charge, but I would do that.
On the topic of Jurassic Park, there was a little Jurassic Park related news.
Yes, there was.
Okay.
A lot of people on the chat right now is talking about, hey, Decker, talk about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Well, we would if we wanted to, but we are going to be waiting for 3 seconds because of an ad from Variety. So thank you, Variety. Anyway, so we are getting Jurassic World 3 in theaters in June 2021. I just saw this on the Jurassic World Twitter, and they confirmed this. So yeah, all of you guys are waiting for Jurassic World. Well, guess what? We're have a 3rd movie in store coming out. And
Variety.
Thanks, Variety.
I do have to pose a question about this, and this is in relation both to the movie itself and to the universe that the movie takes place in.
I'm just going to keep doing that for the rest of the show, just so you know.
Stop.
Please sponsor us.
Yeah. But basically, how many times can you have a theme park full of genetically engineered experimental dinosaurs where all the dinosaurs escape before you get the point? You know, I mean, like the first time, okay, bad stuff happened. The second time, it was more like we're going back to the dinosaur-infested amusement park, but we're not going there to reopen it. We're going back there to get the stuff that we left there. You know, so okay, you can. That's still a stupid thing to do, by the way. But you know, like you're not reopening the park. Okay,
and then they reopened it at the end of the movie in LA. They didn't get that far because they already broke out and started eating people.
Exactly. You know, like, so, and then you have not just Jurassic World where they reopened the park at this point, but they reopened it and predictably dinosaurs escaped. Now they've got the second movie out and a third one is coming. You know, I kind of have to get to a point where I ask myself, how long before this idea of yours strikes you as bad?
It's just they found a loophole. It's like it's actually been put down that you can't open a park if you have dinosaurs in it. It's like no. These are just frogbirds. Frogbirds. It's okay. It's legal. It's fine. Open the Frogbird Park.
I feel like Jurassic World, maybe it'll happen in 3 or 4 or however long they keep driving these movies into the ground, but like Jurassic World is going to refer to like the Earth. Like they opened an amusement park, the dinosaurs have already escaped and run amok, and then they got out into the world and they bred like rabbits, and now there are like dinosaurs in LA, in New York, and we can't find the doctor. There's pterodactyls in London. China is having a problem with giant Komodo dragons because they figured, why not? Let's throw that in there too. You know, this is going to be the future of the franchise. It's going to be apocalypse with dinosaurs.
Right, and pretty soon we're going to be having a Jurassic World TV series that's going to be like The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, Decker. What was it?
I saw a little. Where did it go? Nathan Manchester says they don't have a good feeling about Rampage. Now,
Rampage.
You remember the Rampage trailer? As far as I can tell, based on the video game of the same name that was based on King Kong, Godzilla, like classic giant monster destroy city movies, where you play as a giant monster and destroy cities. Except there's like 3 giant monsters.
You forgot that it was Godzilla, King Kong, and a third one, a rat, I think.
Yeah, it was well, there's Lizzie. What was the name of the ape? I can't remember. But the rat. I can't remember the name of the rat either. But the Godzilla one was Lizzie.
He knows that much, ladies and gentlemen.
But then there was Rampage 2 Universal Tour, and they had 3 new monsters. They had a rhinoceros. You had this thing with an eye that came out, and then you had this other one. I played as the rhinoceros. I like the rhino. Just run forward, smash into buildings, destroy them.
Some people are saying, is it Gorge or George?
George is the. Oh, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, chat.
And I think the rat was Ralph, but I can't remember.
I want to say maybe you're right. The rat was Ralph, but like they made a remake of it or a sequel or something. Like it was an Atari game or Nintendo or something. Like it was.
I think the original was on NES, but it got ported to like everything.
Yeah, and then they had a PS
they made a PlayStation 1 Rampage World Tour,
and
then they made the sequel Rampage 2 Universal Tour, which is an awesome game because after you're done destroying the Earth, you go to another planet and destroy that one too.
They're saying some of them are saying Ralph is a wolf and possibly the rat is Ben.
Oh, that would make sense.
Okay. So Rampage the movie isn't it the one where is that the one that has
The Rock?
Yeah, The Rock. Yeah.
The Rock is in everything now.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he was in Jumanji. The most recent Jumanji movie. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like
The
I
Rock
like how
has
people are
become the new Hulk.
comparing shots between the Jumanji trailer and the Rampage trailer, and The Rock looks like he's in the same jungle wearing the same outfit. It's like, did they seriously just stealth film these things at the same time?
Mhm.
Did The Rock actually know which script he had at any given time?
I was thinking of that too. I was like, imagine The Rock. He's like, I'm awake. Wait a minute. Which script are we filming today? And then he's like saying the wrong lines for the same movie, and then they're just like, oh, fuck it. Well, none of these movies are going to be able. No one can tell these movies.
One's
apart.
about a killer video game. The other's about giant killer monsters. It doesn't matter. It's just, they'll fix it in post. I don't know.
Right. One is about a killer video game, and one is about giant monsters from a killer video game.
Yes, exactly.
It really is hard to tell them apart.
Yeah, exactly. So it's weird.
It is weird. Speaking of movies, though, I believe we had news. Well, there's more movie news. One is Tremors 6 is coming out this year, in fact, in just a couple of months. And the second one is Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, has finally been announced.
Well,
yes. So the first one let's talk about is Tremors.
All right.
So yeah, we are getting a Tremors movie called Tremors: A Cold Day in Hell, and it'll be coming out in May 1st, straight to DVD.
Woo! No waiting in line at theaters, just waiting in line at Walmart.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Tremors. Oh,
Yeah.
got a.
So it says so right here. Tremors: A Cold Day in Hell will once again pits returning survivalist Bert Gummer and his newly acquainted estranged son Travis against the hungry, constantly evolving menace of the Graboids, this time in the harshest of weather conditions because, well, why not? Because Game of Thrones already taught us that winter is coming and it means bad stuff is happening.
I also got a little $2 chat from Alexa Mitchell saying, Halloween 2018, what are your thoughts? And I think it's something definitely worth digging into. But I don't know how much more I can say. Because, well, it's not coming out till Halloween 2018, and it's March 3rd. It's the anniversary of the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, and also the first anniversary of Breath of the Wild.
Oh, yeah. And also we got a $5 from James Conton asking, any chance of reviewing Robocop films? And yes, a very good chance. I actually already own them on Blu-ray. I just need to do something.
Well, as always.
Yes.
It's my problem. I don't do anything. Patricia, could you script that for me?
Yes, absolutely. I will script that for you. Decker does not know how to do anything. Comes into couch. Does intro. Talks about movie.
All right. I like it so far.
Yeah.
Well, we got to figure out a good and remember. That's what I always have the most problems with.
Actually, I have a question regarding that, Decker. Where did you get that from? Because I remember when I was a kid, there was the chief from Carmen Sandiego who would always say, and remember, and then she would always say something. Was it from that, or was that from something different?
Well, it's just sort of like there were a lot of different things where, especially as a kid, there would be, and remember, and his little helpful little piece of advice, just a little happy send-off, remember this, kids. And it kind of flowed easily in one of the reviews I did. It was like, and remember, and it was a silly joke. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed how that worked as a way to end the episode. I know it's just sort of kind of a joke based on the children's shows and the constant and remembers in so many things.
Plus, a lot of that, like you're thinking back on it, at least some of the advice that was given, was either, at best, it was very generic. At worst, it was really bad advice, and in the middle somewhere, it was questionable because when you thought about it, you were like, "Wait a minute, does that mean?" Okay, so violence is wrong unless it's the right kind of violence, but can also be the wrong kind of violence. So know the difference between the right and wrong kind of violence.
Yes, we have a £5 question from Rez Redstripe who says, would you do a review on Screamers?
I'm not sure what Screamers are.
Yeah,
I gotta look at that up because it sounds like something I would.
It sounds like a Decker Shadow movie to review. Yeah,
So it's funny because it's like you can suggest like any movie to me, and I'm probably not gonna hate the idea because it's what the New York Ripper was just an Amazon suggestion. I was scrolling down, I was like, hey, we think you'd like this. You would really enjoy this movie about this guy in New York that talks like a duck and stabs women to death, and it has a lot of gore and tits in it. And like, how dare you say? Absolutely, actually, I think I'll get that.
I can believe that this is precisely how the thought process went. If it was not voiced out loud, it was in your head.
But yes, we were talking about Tremors 6.
Right.
Yes.
That's
I'm not too surprised that the announcement came this soon before it actually coming out, because I remember when I did the Tremors review series, I had that scheduled for a while, and it was supposed to be all in October, and then Tremors 5 just kind of in the middle drops. Mm-hmm. And it's like, by the way, it's out on DVD at that point. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I'm getting that too. So I end up getting Tremors 5 and putting that at the end of everything. And it's now not confined to the month of October. It stretches into November. But it just was released, and it was announced and released that fast. And from what I could tell in Tremors 6 trailer, it looks to be about the same quality budget-wise as Tremors 5, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And yes, CGI Graboids, but pretty good CGI overall compared to what it could be.
And it wasn't the first time that... This, I don't think, is the first time that CGI has shown up in the Tremors franchise either, because wasn't it... If it was not in, like, one of the later sequels, it was...
Oh, sorry. Even J says, Screamers, it's got Robocop in it. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, that's a yes then.
Okay. Yeah. But was it like one of the later sequels, or was it the TV show? But I want to say that there was something with the word Tremors attached to it that used CGI, but it wasn't like the first film. It wasn't even the second film.
The Tremors 3... Tremors 3 was sort of the pilot for the Tremors TV series, and that used CGI, and it was sci-fi TV quality CGI. It was pretty bad looking. And the TV series used CGI as well, but I haven't seen the full TV series, so I can't say exactly how well they worked within the budget, because bad CGI can be used well. It's just usually it's just used as if it's the best looking stuff ever, and it is clearly not.
Right. Patricia,
yes.
Any thoughts?
Well, I've never seen any of the Tremors movies outside of what Decker was talking about, so I'm actually really curious to see where the quality of this movie comes along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I remember there was a Sonic the Hedgehog movie, like in the 90s.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it wasn't technically like a movie. It was more or less kind of like an OVA. So yes, we did get a Sonic the Hedgehog movie in the 90s, and it was like incredibly insane. But yes, we talked about
Knuckles with the cowboy hat. You had the human princess thing. I think, did she have cat ears and a tail? I don't know, but Robotnik kidnapped her to marry her, and
yeah, that sounds like something from Mario, not from Sonic.
Oh, I know where Odyssey got it. Oh my God! It's all starting to run together.
Now we know where the plot for Odyssey came from. And although I feel like the plot of Odyssey
came from, it's all starting to go together now.
Yeah, I feel like the plot of Odyssey is the less, comparatively, the less disturbing of the two. Although it certainly has its own disturbing undertones. But, Robotnik manages to somehow be creepier than Bowser. And I feel like I shouldn't be an expert.
At least Robotnik is human, and the princess in the Sonic OVA movie thingamabobbers with the cowboy Knuckles. She was humanish. So I could see how that might work. I can't really see how I have seen. The internet's an amazing place.
Right.
But that's still not
what I'm getting at is, okay, Robotnik wanted to have a baby bride. He wanted a child bride. So I'm like, okay, movie, do you see where you went wrong here?
Yes.
What I remember most about this movie, though, is I did not know about it for years. I did not find out about it until I think it was 2001, and I found out about it because it was one of the trailers on a DVD. Keep in mind, this was back in the early, when DVDs were becoming a hot thing. And so you bought them not really to get the movie, but all the other stuff that was on it. But it had a trailer for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and it had this incredibly catchy techno song that was playing. And I would watch the trailer just to hear the song. And for years, I never knew how the whole song went. So I finally went looking on the internet, last year, I think it was, when I remembered, hey, I remember that song. Wait a minute, I have the internet now. It's possible for me to hear the whole thing.
Yes. And read by nature, we do not want to be reminded that Sonic had a relationship with a human princess in Sonic 06.
Well, that wasn't necessarily the worst thing about Sonic 06.
Well, okay, fine. Gameplay wise, yeah.
I just remember I was a Sonic fan growing up. I played all the Sonic games. I got Sonic 06 and I tried playing it. I really tried. I put my heart into it. I was like, I played through the Sonic storyline. I struggled. Did it though? Okay. Played through the Silver storyline. Played through that. All right. Okay. I started on Shado. I'm getting there. And I got to the part where you're driving around in a car. And I realized something at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
The driving it around in a car controls were perfect. They worked. They functioned as you would expect. And that somehow ticked me off so bad, I stopped playing the game. Everything else was so broken. I got to the car controls and they worked. I'm like, that's the part you got right.
We have two $5 questions. One from King Cold, who says, hey guys, name the 3 biggest video game icons in your opinion. That's a good question, by the way.
Of all time or of right now?
In your opinion. Personally, for me, one of them is Mario, because, at this point, he is one of the most iconic characters in video games. He pretty much helped with bringing back video games into popularity during the crash of '83, and then
Mario's a pretty easy answer. It's kind of like Mickey Mouse for cartoons.
Yes. Yeah. The second one is PacMan, because PacMan, he was such a huge iconic character. Pretty much was the most well-known in video games. He had a TV series. He had merchandise. There was a song dedicated to him. There was guides about how to play Pac-Man. His games are currently in the Smithsonian. He's been around forever. And in fact, in some surveys, they talk about how people know more about Pac-Man than they do about Mario. And the third one, that's really, really hard. I want to try to find a more modern, iconic character, but...
So part of me wants to say Minecraft Steve, but at the same time, no one really cares about the character,
Yeah, that's true.
Minecraft is huge right now. But
yeah.
No one gives a damn about Steve.
Yeah, you could argue that more iconic characters with
the Creeper.
People
care more about the Creeper than they do.
Yeah, exactly. You could say you could say Shovel Knight. You could say Super Meat Boy. That character from Undertale. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of indie characters we can talk about. Samus being one of the first female protagonists. In a video game.
Going to name her. I was going to say that I will exclude Pac-Man and Mario from my list not because I dislike them or I don't think they belong on there, but just for all the reasons that you listed, Patricia. I was like, I'm going to leave them off of it just because they've had that big of an impact. So I'll pick 3 different ones. But I was going to name Samus Aran as my first one.
Monica. Oh God. I'll go with the nicer one, Anthony Hudak, Doom Guy.
Ooh, Doom Guy. I guess I would say that Doom is more influential with the gameplay and with PC gaming. I don't know too much about the character, though.
The thing is that the original Doom series, the character of Doom Guy really didn't... It was very transparent. He ran like hell, and he could kill a bunch of demons, but,
yes.
that was pretty much the limit of what you knew about him, except for... During 2016, the glory kills and just the way Doom Guy just reacts to things is he doesn't say anything. He still doesn't say anything. But it's he gets over to the thing, is okay. You got the guy on the thing. It's okay, We need this. It's important. It's one of a kind. You absolutely need to just turn it off temporarily so that we can put it back. And Doomguy just grabs the thing, smash! So, yeah, he's got a little more character even without saying anything.
Right.
Yes.
I would say Jill Valentine, too.
Oh,
Jill. Resident
oh,
Evil,
that's a great one. Yeah, Jill Valentine from Resident Evil. Yes.
Because Jill Valentine, I mean, like, I hear and now with the Resident Evil franchise, I hear more people sing praises of Chris Redfield, and how he's awesome and everything. And I was like, that to me, that's a little bit surreal because when, like in the mid 90s, when I was getting familiar, well, more the late 90s, but when I was getting familiar with the Resident Evil games that were released at that point, Jill Valentine was the character that everybody I knew at least liked, or at least sang the praises of. They were like, everybody wanted to play as Jill Valentine. Nobody really gave a shit about Chris Redfield.
I know Jill Valentine.
Trust me, it's a lot better than Rebecca Chambers, that's for sure.
Jill Valentine, she had a couple of things going for her.
Mm-hmm.
Not that. She had 2 more inventory slots, and she was the master of unlocking, meaning that she did not need to pick up all those little tiny small keys to open up the thing. She could just open up the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like the game managed to be, I don't want to use the word easy because that's not the case. Playing as Jill Valentine was still actually really quite hard, but the game was less frustrating as Jill Valentine. Chris Redfield's storyline, it wasn't so much easier or more difficult. It was just a lot more aggravating because, as Decker points out, so many keys. Whoever is behind this master plot in the mansion is leaving you all these keys,
Oh, yeah. All right. Now, the second $5 question says, hello from Australia. What is everyone's take on the idea of a live-action Star Wars show based off of the 501st Legion, formatted like the TV show Cops?
Formatted like Cops? I'm not certain. Oh, there was also something $2 deleted by the conspired one. Well, I guess that's $2 going towards the bestfriends.org.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A nice little animal charity there.
Uh-huh. But as for the show, I mean, like the idea of a Star Wars TV show is something that I've wanted to see for years. Like of course we got, the CGI show, but I mean a live action show. And yet I'm like, the format though of being filmed like Cops, I'm like, why did you need to do this?
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine like the theme song, Star Wars, Star Wars. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? And you have like the stormtroopers being arrested, like you have like this chase scene in space, and then you have the Jedis coming in and they have their lightsabers, and then
what will you do when they come for you?
For you. I'm imagining Jar Jar Binks getting beaten by stormtroopers and screaming police brutality.
Misa innocence. Misa had nothing to do with it.
This is becoming more and more entertaining the more I think about it. Bolt Theory 377 $2 asks, "Hey Decker, would you ever do a review of Killjoy?" Yes.
Sure.
Or no. But I don't know. I mean, that's it's like, would I do a review of something? Yeah, I don't have it planned. I don't have it scheduled. But as an idea, it's always good to have ideas.
I don't think we ever actually said much about the Sonic the Hedgehog, the new movie that's coming out.
Well, it's not too much information other than the fact that it's coming.
And the fact that it's being produced by Paramount as of the Mario movie, which is being done by Illumination Entertainment.
Ooh, a rivalry!
Yes.
Why don't they just slap both? Why don't they just slap both movies together the way they did that Grindhouse movie? The one starring Rose McGowan, and instead of having to pick and choose what movie you go to, just have Nintendo, the movie, and on one side of the poster there's Sonic and the gang there, and on the other side of the poster there's Mario and there's the gang there. Neither one interacts, but there's 2 movies in one that way.
That would be fun, yeah.
But if you have Sonic and Mario together in the same movie, the only way that could logically work out from what we've currently seen in the games is if they go to the Olympics.
Or if they play Smash Brothers.
No, there's one other way, and we're forgetting about Super Mario Brothers Z. But that's already been done, and it was done in Flash animation, and it was actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, and I do know that the guy who did it, Alvin Earthworm, he actually tried to do a remake of it like a few years ago. I don't know if he's continuing to do it, but he did a remade version, and it looks awesome, by the way. I remember when I saw that 10 years ago in Flash.
James Conlon dropped $5 and asked, "What do you think of the War of the Worlds novel and the film adaptations?" I asked because the BBC is finally coming out with a Victorian era series.
Ooh, awesome. I would like to see that.
Now, that's interesting. I mean, War of the Worlds, I haven't read the original novel. Everyone knows about War of the Worlds, though, because, radio. People terrified for their lives. Martians trying to kill them.
Orson Welles.
Chaos ensues, but...
Orson Welles did many, many things, but he will always and forever be remembered as the guy who threw New York City into a panic.
Over Martians.
Over Martians, yeah.
Yes.
Now, I haven't seen too many of the new War of the Worlds films. I mean, I saw the Asylum one, but honestly, I really like I got a lot more entertainment out of the War of the Worlds adaptation of an episode of Pinky and the Brain. Where the brain tries to send the world into panic through saying, okay, that was through radio that Orson Welles terrified everyone. We can do it through television now. And he tries to do that, and everyone thought it was hilarious and loved it, and they wanted him to autograph the saucers and stuff. And it's just like,
What's ironic is that he did kind of have people worshiping him the way he's wanted for so long, just not in the way that he expected to, and because it didn't come that way, he didn't want it anymore.
Yeah.
But
when you try to take over the world,
I mean, there's more than one way to accomplish that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the internet has proven this.
Yes.
But I do remember, I did not see the Tom Cruise movie. I saw Tom Cruise on the cover of it, and it's a bit biased of me to say this, but I was just like, no. But the idea of a BBC Victorian era War of the Worlds series or miniseries, I'm like, yeah, okay, I can get behind this. Can we get Sherlock Holmes in there fighting Martians?
On the topic of Tom Cruise, we do have a little Tom Cruise news for the movie zoos.
Yes, we do. And apparently, Tom Cruise is actually being called as the best of something, or if not, at least what he was doing. So we are getting a new Mission Impossible movie.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, Mission Impossible Fallout. And according to this article in Forbes.com, it has the year's best trailer.
Now, if he is not spending this movie eating squirrel on a stick and buying stuff with bottle caps, I'm going to be sorely disappointed.
I was going to say, how much of this is just them trying to make a cash grab because of the popularity of the Fallout games? Everyone knows the answer to this already.
Yes.
Now, I watched the trailer, and it looked like a Mission Impossible trailer. I have absolutely no idea what the story's about. There was something about plutonium and people not exactly following orders, right? And there's Tom Cruise in a bunch of different vehicles, in a bunch of different situations, barely surviving.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know. It looks like a Mission Impossible movie to me.
Right.
Yeah,
I actually do have something to add with the squirrel on the stick thing. But first, Patricia, anything from you? Because for me, I'm like, Mission Impossible movie,
Yeah, me too. I mean, at this point, I'm surprised that Tom Cruise is continuing after the gigantic disaster that was the Mummy reboot.
Right. And I was excited about that at first, too, because I was like, I actually like the classic, what people call the Universal Studios monsters with, the Mummy and the Wolfman and Dracula and Frankenstein and the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I mean, I completely agree. There's a lot of unfortunate undertones to those old classic movies and how they, the monsters are portrayed and the metaphors relating to society at the time. But at the same time, the kid in me is still like, it would be cool to see these movies, these creatures put in movies again. And so I'm like, they're making a new Mummy movie. Yeah, okay, never mind.
Mm.
Kat Luniska says Brandon Fraser's is fine.
Uh,
Or Brendan Fraser, Mummy.
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't
true.
really seen it, but I could imagine. Yeah, I
I
can
would like to
imagine.
review
The
that.
trailers looked fine. I saw like it was a whole ton of CGI when CGI was the thing. Like when CGI was as ubiquitous as bullet time right after The Matrix came out.
Mhm.
So it's like you had all this CGI, like, and that was
Yeah.
a cool thing at the time. So people were like, yeah. But at the same time, it still looked, there were things going on. They had the ancient Egyptian drama and magic and shit. And I was looking at it like I haven't seen one of the films yet, but I got enough out of the trailers to think there's something there.
Yeah.
Sure.
I would like to review those movies with you, Decker, because I actually enjoyed the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies.
If you
So
are, then I would be
asking
really
whatever
curious to
happened to
find out what
Brendan
your thoughts
Fraser.
on the animated series are.
Yeah, I do remember that there was an animated series.
Trey Stewart asks, whatever happened to Brendan Fraser? And I'm pretty sure it has something to do with a dark world and a monkey.
Actually, I think you're not far off. You're not far off, Decker. I think it has something specifically to do with George of the Jungle.
Oh.
Actually, you know what? I'm glad you actually brought that up because there was actually an article of Brendan Fraser that came out about a few weeks ago on GQ where he was actually interviewed by someone and they were taking him over to his little farmhouse in upstate New York and he was talking about a whole bunch of things. I actually read it. It's pretty fascinating. If you're interested, I actually have the link to it right here. GQ.com, just look up whatever happened to Brendan Fraser. Very interesting article. I highly recommend you check it out. You'll be surprised to know that he actually has a little farm in upstate New York and he's somewhat interested in horses.
That is kind of cool.
Yes.
I mean, it beats, the usual, this person's dead now because of 8 years of constant cocaine use.
I'm only up to 6.
Right.
Squirrel on a Stick though reminded me of, and I had to do when I first heard about this, I had to do a double take because I was certain, absolutely positively certain that I was reading this wrong somehow, but no, it's true. The Friday the 13th original movie experience, the thing with the camp.
Yes, when I actually first saw this, I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Oh, we got 1,000 Huff.
Oh, sorry, what?
1,000
we got 1,000 Huff.
1,000 Huff. Oh, neat. Okay, so 1,000 Huff. Did I miss you guys talking about The Shape of Water? No, not yet. We haven't talked about it yet. So, yes, we are getting... So, yes. Usually the camp that Friday the 13th is filmed at is closed. They don't allow tourists to come in. But on April... Friday the 13th, you will go over there for an overnight camping experience. It says so right here that they'll be having a whole bunch of activities over there. Friday the 13th, you'll be having a morning tour. You'll have a chance to get some, other cool stuff over there. But yeah, so if you are in the Hardwick, New Jersey area, and you are interested in checking this Friday the 13th off overnight camping experience, then yeah, go check it out. It should be really interesting.
I'm just like, I'm baffled by this. I mean, like, people are going to spend money to go to a camp. Okay, now, mind you, this isn't the same thing as the people who go to places where they know horrible murders happened and that were true. And try and sleep there overnight. But still...
so you've been watching Shane Dawson, too.
Right, yeah. But still, this is people who want to go to an old abandoned camp where a horror movie was filmed and spend the night there. I mean, like, this whole scenario is just begging to go meta. I mean, like, it really is, And before we get any further into this
Scream 2 a few too many times. You're like, this is never a good idea.
Right now, Decker, we are not doing this.
Adrienne King's going to be. That's the thing. It's like at the camp, a lot of times on Friday the 13th, they'll have a tour and during the day, like, here you go. But this time, they're having an overnight camping experience, and Adrienne King's going to be there. That's the thing. That's the thing. I wonder if they're going to give out a free ice pick. Or maybe they're just not going to let me bring my ice pick. They're probably not going to let me bring my ice pick.
This is what I live with every day, people.
Well, this isn't the first time that I've heard something like this. I think that when the 100th anniversary of the Titanic was happening, there was actually a replica of the Titanic that was being built for people to sail the Titanic all the way from, the original location where it was at, like around England, all the way up into New York City. So. This is nothing new.
Will it actually sink this time as well? Because I'm not so certain about this tour.
Yeah, I mean, like
the original experience.
Drowned.
If you're in one of the lower classes, don't worry. We'll lock you down there because we don't have enough lifeboats again.
Yeah, I'm just like, I hear about that. I think I remember that, Patricia, and I just thought, like, that is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. Hey, next we'll have space flights that are named after the Challenger. Fly into space on a Challenger replica.
Oh, no!
You know?
Oh, boy.
I'm just like, how much dumber does this have to get?
My God.
Oh, man. But,
wow.
This sounds like a good place to have a nice little game.
Yes, please. So yeah, I about two weeks ago, when we had John Massari on as a guest.
Massari.
Yes. John Massari. So when we had John Massari as a guest, I saw this cool game about which comment goes to where, and so I was doing a little digging to find out if there was anything fun to play, and lo and behold, I did find something that inspired me to play a new game that I like to call Which Celebrity Wrote This Book? I found 5 books written by celebrities in different genres and came out in different time periods. You have to let me know who wrote this. So, are you ready?
Brother.
All right, let me just bring up the first one because, oh my God. Okay, let's start off with let me just start off with a simple one. So let me just do a quick little search. Okay. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so number 1. The book is called Swan. It is a contemporary novel that came out in 1996. The plot: in her early 20s, Swan is the world's best-known supermodel. Desiring a change, the English-born beauty decides to step down as the sole representative of the Swan beauty line, subsequently triggering a global search for a new girl. 5 young models are on the short list, some shy and some naive. Others are poised and assertive, and one bent on a course of self-destruction. As Swan prepares to make a significant change in her life, rumors about her sister's mysterious death 14 years earlier surface in a menacing manner. Readers are immersed in the internal world of modeling, the fashion designers, bookers, agencies, hairstylists, and photographers. Which celebrity wrote this book? And no cheating, by the way.
I was going to say, it looked like Decker was trying to do something on his phone there. I was going to say.
I was just the Twitter poll. I was trying to figure out the Twitter poll. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, as soon as we're done with this poll right here, then, with this little quiz, then I'm sure that maybe this will be interesting to find out, So, yeah.
Do we get like an A, B, C, D choice, or do we have to just throw a name out there?
Yeah, just throw. I didn't put in an ABC thing, so oops, sorry. Okay. So I guess just make
I missed the book because I was trying to Twitter poll.
Swan is the name. Yeah. That's the name of the book. It's about a fashion model who decides to open up her own thing. 5 girls are interested. There's some like a mysterious past about her sister's murder and death and all kinds of stuff. So there you go. So yeah,
I want to say Ivana Trump for some reason.
Ivana Trump. Okay,
I'm thinking Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons. Nice. All right, I'm going to reveal what the answer is. So I actually have the picture of the book right here. And the correct answer is Naomi Campbell. Yes, Naomi Campbell from Scream wrote this book. So you guys were not even close, but that's okay.
No, we were not. I feel like we gave good answers anyway.
Yeah, that was a really good answer. All right.
I would have said Sidney Sheldon. I don't know if anyone here knows who that is, but that sounds like a Sidney Sheldon plot novel, but he's not. I don't think he really qualifies as celebrity enough to be to be an answer that was applicable. So I didn't say that.
Right. All right.
Okay.
Let's see. Book number 2.
I think I got a thing going.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. I just set it up for a 30-minute length.
Okay.
And now the Twitter poll. Which movie experience would you pay to do? A Jaws cruise, Friday the 13th camping, Apollo 13 spaceflight, or a Scream Hollywood tour?
Wow, that's good. That's amazing. Can't wait to see the result on that.
Okay,
Yeah,
now I just got to
I'm excited about this.
get the link
All right.
and send it to you.
All right. No problem.
There it is.
Thank you. Okay, and let me just copy that.
Okay,
And
so the
I
next...
will post it on the chat for you guys to do your votes. Choose wisely. All right.
I'll be putting it in the description.
All right, book number 2. Number 2. This book is called The Morning Show Murders. It's a murder mystery novel that came out in 2010. The plot of the book. As famous for his popular cooking segment on Wake Up America as for his swank Manhattan Bistro, Billy Blessing can add prime murder suspect to his impressive list of accomplishments. Because when one of the network's top honchos ends up dead, it is a poisoned serving of Blessing's coq en vin that is to blame. Billy knows he's being framed, but proving it won't be easy, not with his perky co-host involved in a brass-knuckles contract negotiation, a Mossad agent about to tell on the air, and a ruthless international assassin arriving at the Big Apple. Now Billy isn't so much concerned about staying alive in the ratings, but just staying alive. For the closer Billy comes to uncovering an international conspiracy, the closer he comes to being canceled permanently.
Guy
Which celebrity
Fieri.
wrote this book? Huh?
Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri. Okay.
I want to say Guy Fieri as well, actually. And also, as an additional note, I want to see this movie. I want to see this book made into a movie starring the host, either Guy Fieri or I forget his name, but the host of Iron Chef America.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was in I Am Omega.
Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, I forgot what his name was, but that would be kind of interesting. But unfortunately,
the chairman. But
the chairman, right?
Sorry.
So unfortunately, Guy Fieri did not write this book. You're not even going to believe who wrote this book. You see him every day on the Today Show. It is Al Roker.
What?
Al Roker, the weatherman. The same guy who also did a cookbook about barbecue, wrote this book. Not only that, but this is the first in a trilogy.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, it gets weirder. Next one. And this one, I was shocked when I first heard about this. I was like, what? But seriously, you got to listen to this one. The book is called Rebels, City of Indra, the story of Lex and Livia. It is a science fiction / dystopian novel that came out in 2014. The plot of the book. In a world of the far future, the great city of Indra has 2 faces. A beautiful paradise floating high in the sky and a nightmare world of poverty beneath the earth. Lex grew up in an orphanage deep in the dark, but even as a child, she instinctively rebelled against her fate. The time would be judged earlier when she would be useful to society or forced to live among the mutations and rock bottom, the lowest level. When she is chosen to become an elite cadet in the population control forces, her only fellow cadet, Kane, truly understands her longing for freedom. Unknown to her, one girl secretly shares her defiance. Livia Cosmo, the orphan heiress, may live on a sky island surrounded by wealth and privilege, but she is just restricted as Lex. Rigid discipline governs her every movement. As she learns to become a proper young woman, the bell of an emergence ball, waiting to be picked up for cohabitation by the finest of the proper young men. That is when Lex and Livia's destinies collide. Approached by an old enemy to save Kane from mortal danger, Lex sacrifices her special ops career to find him in the islands among the clouds. Her search high above in the beautiful spires of the city of
This is the
Indra.
synopsis, not the whole book, right?
This is the synopsis, yes. So, who wrote this book? You're not even going to believe this.
Okay.
I did.
So, who wrote this?
This sounds like one of those, like, you know, this sounds like a book that was written in the wake of the Harry Potter phenomenon. You know, like the City of Ember and you know, and Mortal Instruments and so forth. But celebrity. I'm trying to think of one that I can name that it is like just really out there.
Get the most out there you can imagine.
Keanu Reeves wrote this.
Keanu Reeves, okay.
How about Corey Feldman?
Corey Feldman, okay. All right. Well, let's see what the answer is. If I can get screen share to work, please. Because God, it's not working. Okay, the correct answer is Kendall and Kylie Jenner from Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Oh man.
Yes. They wrote a dystopian book at the same time that we're getting their nails done. Oh God. Seriously.
I'm just
all right. I'm doing one more because this is getting ridiculous. And this is actually the one that inspired the whole
we got
thing.
24 votes so far, 24 minutes left. Friday the 13th Camping is winning by a mile, and no one wants the Scream Hollywood tour.
I wanted that one. I wanted that one.
Okay. Now, I think that if you listen to this plot of this book, I think you guys can probably guess it immediately, which if you can, my God, then it's quite something. All right. Well, let me just bring up the last one. Okay. Last one. The book is called The Way of the Shadow Wolves, The Deep State and Hijacking of America. A mystery novel. Excuse me? No, it's not Alex Jones. It does sound like it, doesn't it?
Rush Limbaugh?
Rush Limbaugh. Close, but not really. It is a mystery novel that came out in October 1st, 2017. So it actually came out a few months ago. This is the story of an Arizona tribal police officer who stumbles on one of the biggest cases in the history of the Southwest. He's a member of an elite group within the Native American communities known as the Shadow Wolves. When it comes to the discovery, he is uncovering a massive corruption in places where he once placed his total trust. Shadow Wolves is a book of fiction based on reality. And two people wrote this book, but we'll go into that later. Recent events has for the first time made American citizens aware of the deep state is very real. That the mainstream tends to be biased by often offering false narrative towards the secret intelligence world in service to special interests. The fight for America's soul is taking place far from Washington, D.C. This is the story of one small group of patriots fighting for the good fight.
Okay. Elizabeth Warren and Razorfist, the Rageaholic. Mm-hmm. Working together.
I'll go with that one, sure.
All right. Well, Decker, be prepared to be kind of disappointed because it's not. So, the person who wrote this book, who co-wrote this book, is Steven Seagal.
Oh. Razorfist would have known that too. He's probably like, "You stupid motherfucker."
You know what made me laugh the most? Look who did the foreword. Joe Arpaio.
Joe Arpaio.
Yeah, Joe Arpaio. Yeah, that's him.
Oh,
he was a guest too because I heard the Arizona thing in there, but I didn't. Yeah. I was like, I don't know. What do you consider celebrity?
Well, he's been in movies and TV and stuff, so I guess.
True. I was thinking I had already given Rush Limbaugh, so I figured I'll go with what Decker says. Sure, why not? Let's just see what it was. And I'm still kind of I'm like, wow.
If he had said that he used his Shadow Wolf Seagal powers to fight back, I would have gotten it immediately.
Yeah.
is mention how someone's like 5 miles away smoking a cigar, not thinking that he's got all his deep state stuff figured out. Like, haha, the deep state will control you all. And Shadow Wolf just shoots and knocks the cigar out of his hand and into his pocket, which burns his pocket. And he reaches down, just barely missing that the other bullet went right over his head, but cut just a little bit right there to put a note in the back of his head saying, "I'm coming for you."
Mhm.
Then I know it's Seagal. Seagal wrote that.
Yeah.
Oh man! So yeah, that's the game. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
And on the topic of the deep state and all the secret conspiracies out there, we have some conspiracy news.
Oh wow! Where do we start?
Right.
As this has to do with YouTube.
Great.
And I was like, should I put this in the title card? Do I want this demonetized? Well, it's going to be demonetized anyway. And in fact, it wasn't immediately when I created the room for once. It did not get the yellow dollar sign before it even went live, but it was while we were going. So, someone said something, and I was like, Talking about Guy Fieri like that.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, really? I thought it would have been
let's go into
my
some
comment about the
conspiracy.
Challenger exploding.
Oh.
Maybe.
All right. So YouTube purge points to bigger problems with conspiracy videos transparency. Whether YouTube institutes a tougher moderation stance, a common debate emerges over censorship, especially from notable conservative voices. Questions over YouTube moderators and the power they hold were raised this week after notable conservative pundits, gun advocates, conspiracy channels, and other right-wing voices received community strikes or were locked out of their channels. Creators who are affected by these lockdowns are referring to it as the YouTube purge, claiming that YouTube is purging all right-wing or pro-gun content. The move followed the company's attempt to clamp down on dangerous content following the Parkland shooting. So, yeah.
We're gonna have a great happy time with this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a very, very pleasant conversation that's about to go through.
Oh, yeah.
I read the article a bit longer, and I got some really raised eyebrows, like, what the hell are they smoking with this? And then I looked at the top corner, I saw Polygon, I'm like, oh. There's like this notable campaign of hatred. It started in 2014. There's just this constant hatred and harassment campaign. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, Polygon. Oh, yeah, you're the guys that this so-called hatred and harassment campaign kind of got accused of serious corruption and violations of things. So, yeah, of course, that's what you'd say about them.
Right. So who wants to draw the bullet for this one?
Well, it's like the whole thing is they got 10,000 or so human moderators.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And people are human. They have biases. Now, the algorithm, its bias is it thinks everything is against everything. So it's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And then you have to say, hey, that's not true. But then you say, we got these human moderators in here. These humans can figure stuff out, and they don't need to have this isn't right, please go back. We can just say, trust it. And so that's a flag that you can't speak out against. Now, these humans can have certain biases. And if they lean more on their biases than the actual rules, you end up on problems like that. And if the person doing the hiring might have a bias there, they might hire people with the same biases as them, making a whole bunch of people that all have the same kind of leanings, which makes the whole thing just not really kind of work out. And everything's all confusing. And I'm trying to figure it out, and I don't know the answer.
Well, the issue here is what's actually being discussed is not the school shooting or gun control or anything else. It's about people with those opinions being censored by YouTube. And I'm going to say something that might not be very popular. Whether I want to hear these opinions from these people or not, I don't feel that what was done to them is right. Because, I mean, like, it's very easy for me to just throw my hands up and say, well, good riddance. But at the same time, I'm like, I remember, like, this is still, like, something that's still fresh in my mind. Like, it started for me in, like, late 2013 when I was one of the first people who was thrown off of Blip. I lost my first channel a few months later. I've, it took a long time to get any sort of clout with YouTube to where I wasn't, like, every video wasn't being flagged, or they didn't have some kind of problem with it, or I had to, protest against, it being blocked worldwide or having a strike against me or something else. And like it was in late, no, it was in early last year. I had to finally, I had to take down all of the episode reviews of American Horror Story that I had done so far, because systematically they were getting strikes against them. They were like, blocked, you can't, this video is blocked worldwide, this video is blocked worldwide. And, like, this happened like 2 or 3 times, and they were insisting that it violated it violated guidelines and, was, again, it violated copyright laws, despite, it not being the case. They, like, I would send in saying, no, this meets all the guidelines, please stop. And then I would get a bounce back, and it would say, nope, we're blocking it anyway. And if you keep protesting, we can delete your entire channel, And so finally, just, I was almost done with the first season, but finally I just said, screw it. I'm going to take all the videos down, and I'll put up a video explaining why I had to do that. And because I could not think of anything else to do at the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Lord
very
Volkov
sorry about
says,
that.
because the First Amendment doesn't protect the speech you like, it protects the speech you don't like. And that comes into the question of, well, Google is a private entity, but then again, Google is so huge and ubiquitous. Should it be considered like a public utility? Or is that interrupting the rights of Google to run their company the way they see fit? And everything is like, there's no real easy answer. What I would personally like to see is a lot of the problems, I think, stem from the fact that YouTube, Google, they've got all of their guidelines written in a very lawyer speak way that is as vague as possible, that if interpreted the right way, every single video on YouTube is in violation of its guidelines. That way, Google is protected if they say, hey, your video violates our guidelines and takes it off. You can't really take him to court and say, actually, it doesn't, because technically every single one does. Now, the problem is when you have such loose things and it's just on a whim of whoever's in charge, what they feel like, then you get people who feel like they don't like these guys' voices, they don't like their voices, they're going to assume that they're bad, they're not going to do all the research here. It doesn't really matter. It all violates guidelines anyway. Remove. And when there's not that hard rule to go back on and say, okay, this went here and here, and this doesn't violate that does violate that, try and actually check against things and figure things out, then it's all just it's a tense situation for everyone. No one knows what the rules are. The rules are clearly printed in black and white, but they make no sense.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, fair use itself is a gray area. There are things like, I could go to court for any one of my reviews and have to sit down and try and break it apart and say, well, does this show too much of the movie? Does that spoil the movie and therefore ruin the market value of the movie? Or does the fact that people like having the movie spoiled for them in trailers and are more likely to watch a movie when the trailer spoils more of the movie than it doesn't, does that mean anything, especially since I'm not showing the entire movie. Everything is very cut and edited and all sorts of stuff. And it's all kinds of gray areas on that. And the fact that with the rules are just a big gray mess. It's just a big cream of wheat of rules.
Yeah.
Everything is allowed and nothing is. It's there. You gotta, I think, in order to get any kind of solid ground to sit on, there has to be rules on YouTube that can be followed and make sense. Like, the vagueness has to go at some point.
Yeah. And like, I actually did wonder if the reason why, those videos of the American Horror Story videos were just because someone either like somehow, I would be surprised if anyone behind the show, found out about this, but like, was it because I wasn't giving very flattering, opinions, very flattering praise of the first season, but because I don't like it. and I felt like it had way too many problems and not enough good things involved in it to be a good show, at least for the first season. But I did wonder if it got flagged as often as it did because of the negative things I had to say. Was it just that somebody somewhere didn't like that I was saying that, and because, like you said, the rules are vague enough to where they can say, okay, flag.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, as somebody who posts a lot of, animated stuff, mostly Nickelodeon, and seriously, I get at least maybe like 2 or 3 flags a day from Viacom saying, like, you can't put this there. You can't put this there. We're going to block it in 240 something countries. You're going to be blocked. You're going to be suspended from your channel for a couple of months. So trust me, it's hurt. It hasn't been easy lately.
Mm-hmm. I am sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm trying to hang in there. All right. I think that we can focus on other scary things that is not Google or YouTube. So I actually did find this out. We've been talking a lot about Netflix lately, discussing about like all the exclusive movies that have been coming out. According to Netflix, they claim that this Spanish movie that came out called Veronica is the scariest movie ever.
Huh?
Yeah. Exactly. Netflix has dropped a new Spanish horror movie, Veronica, which has been described as the scariest movie ever, and viewers are going mad for it. The movie was put on earlier this week, which is the 26th, and people taken to Twitter to warn fellow viewers about their nail-biting viewing experience. One user writes down, started watching Veronica on Netflix, but the demon walking down the hallway scene freaked me out. I had to turn it off. It scared SpongeBob, so yes, it means that it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
I like further down where it mentions it's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes from 12 reviews, which isn't that much. 100% is much, but 12 reviews, not that much. You can get 100% off of 12 reviews relatively easily, and then say, but the IMDb rating is only a mere 6.5. And like, well, that's not saying much anyway, because that's what everything on IMDb gets.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen it. I read the synopsis. Girl tries to contact her dead boyfriend with a Ouija board, accidentally contacts her dead father. Evidently, he's an asshole. So that's pretty much what I got out of it. It looks like it might have some potential, but I need to know. I need to see it. I need to see how it's paced, how it's acted, how it works on suspense. There's a lot that goes into making a really scary movie. It sounds like it's something that could really have a good line of dread if they do it right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I talk about dread like it's a drug that I'm addicted to. It might be.
I would say, yeah.
I need my dread.
But yeah, I think that the way that this movie sounds, it is pretty interesting. But I think that the fact that they're claiming that it's the scariest movie ever, and that's a huge statement.
Hamza Shirky says, "Fucking Ouija board again." Really?
Yeah, because I think we've had like how many movies that feature an Ouija board? Like 2 or 3, maybe 5 at least. I don't know. Oh well. All right. So yeah, nothing more to say unless we see the movie, which is currently on Netflix. So if anybody's interested in checking it out, then go do so. All right, so let's go back into the world of video games. Let's talk about, what do you want to talk about? Something that's slightly controversial or something that it's not slightly controversial?
Should we get the controversy out of the way now so we can have a happy ending?
Sure!
I'm in favor of that. Yeah, sure.
All right.
Came out a little bit wrong, but okay.
Yeah, all right. So I'm sure that you guys have heard, going back into the school shooting again, and I'm really sorry, everybody. But now they're putting the blame on video games. Yeah. So experts are not able to find evidence linking to video games to violence. President Donald Trump suggests that there is a link between video games and mass shootings like the one in Parkland. A review of scientific literature by the American Psychological Association Task Force identified a link between violent games and short-term spikes in hostile or mildly aggressive behavior. But many academics have pushed back against that report, saying that what they're described as poor methodology and bias.
Mhm.
It's hard to attribute.
I think that at least the good thing about that is that something came out of Donald Trump's mouth that no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, right, left, centrist, we can all agree it was fucking stupid.
Yes, it's not even. I'm not even funny. I'm not. I mean, not. I'm not even kidding when I say this. But I just did another news live stream just a few hours ago with my friend Aaron, and we were talking about a report that Donald Trump suggested. And get this, he wants to put a rating system to movies so that kids wouldn't be watching things that aren't appropriate for them. Isn't that amazing?
That maniac!
I know.
Such a whoa! We never.
Oh man, and I hear this and I have to roll my eyes. Not because of the controversy or anything, but I can remember this. This is not a new debate. I can remember I got the first system I ever played was an Atari, and it was back in 05. It wasn't even mine. It belonged to a family member. But I from the 70s and 80s, this debate has been going on. I remember as soon as I got a Nintendo in 4th grade, I was suddenly bombarded on all sides by adults talking about how, oh, did you hear it'll make you go blind, or it'll make you more aggressive, or you'll start, killing people or something like that. And I was around during I remember the Columbine controversy, and then they tried to blame it on video games and Dungeons and Dragons. And I mean, now people are there was a whole controversy about the kids being loners and didn't have any friends or anything. But as people are pointing out now, they weren't exactly high school royalty, but they weren't at the very bottom of the social ladder either. They weren't in the basement of the social structure. They were just more average. And I remember there's every time something like this happens, it feels kind of inevitable. Because when it does happen, people are going to do what they do. They're going to look for something they can blame. They are going to react, and then they're going to look for something that they can try and pin the blame on.
Yeah, a lot of people want to do something because it feels good to find something and solve the problem and all that. But even if you can't really solve a problem, the feeling of doing something is enough for a lot of people. They really want to get something done, and that is frustrating because a lot of times what you're doing isn't helping.
Right. It's that reactionary need to do something, to apply your emotions to something. Try to take the feelings you have and apply them in an action.
That's not necessarily always a bad thing to do, because that's kind of the reason I put Live and Wired together. Because I was so frustrated at YouTube, I decided instead of just spending all day complaining about it, I was going to take that energy and do something.
Right.
So I was like, okay, that's it. We're going to have a new live show. We're going to do it every 2 weeks. It's going to have Creepy on. I'm going to have a moderator. Something. I don't know. We'll get people. And Patricia's like, I guess I could help. I'm like, you're going to do all the work. And she's like, that's not how I signed up for. I'm like, yeah, you did.
That sounds like a conversation. Yeah.
Nerdbane says ultimately it's YouTube's platform for $20. I should mention. Nerdbane says ultimately it's YouTube's platform. They make the rules and choose when to enforce them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, sorry for the barking. I have my sister's dog here. I'm dog sitting.
Hi, doggy.
I miss all my doggies. They're at home. I'm at my fiance's place because that's where I am all the time.
This is my sister's dog. His name is Riley.
Not really puppy, but
Hamza Shurki says video games don't kill people. Psychotic bastards that happen to play video games kill people.
Yes.
I think right now it'd be a lot harder to find someone who doesn't play video games than it is to find someone who does.
Grandmothers who own smartphones, will play, the little games that game apps that you can download now. So, are they
You're just sitting in the checkout lane at Walmart playing Bejeweled, and it must have been something about Bejeweled because it can't possibly be the 2-hour wait in line that made her snap.
Yeah, or the fact that she had to use the bathroom and her Depends were not so dependable. I mean, it sounds like I'm making fun of that, but, well, okay. Long story short, when I was young, I spent a lot of time around old people, so I learned about old people things before I was old.
Yes. Kanra Suki, if you're wondering what the dog's name is, his name is Riley.
Oh.
Also, the poll, it says poll ending right now. I'm pretty sure it's over, so I could just say what it says. I don't know if I got more than 40 votes, because maybe I did. But the poll is ending at 40 votes. 60% voted Friday the 13th camping. 20% voted Jaws cruise. 15% Apollo 13 spaceflight. And 5% Scream Hollywood tour.
Why do so many people want to get murdered by a guy in a hockey mask?
I don't know. Maybe just want to go sleep now. And we did do the sales pitch for the Friday the 13th camping right before everything.
Yeah, we did.
That might have artificially boosted things up a bit.
Yeah,
if I put like an alien space tour instead of Apollo 13, maybe that would have helped equalize things a little more.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think that getting eaten alive by a huge shark, that would have appealed to some people, because, I mean, you're going to remember somebody's name if it's followed by the phrase, such and such person, eaten alive by shark on cruise.
Right. And as for, let's see, as for any other options, I mean, yeah, the alien spaceship would have been nice. Hey, do you want to go to the boiler where A Nightmare on Elm Street was filmed?
Kat Luniska says, what about Predator Island Fun? It's kind of like the most dangerous game, except the hunters
that
are
on the list,
predators. They'll just drop you on the island. Good luck.
Yes.
That will be over pretty quick, though, yeah.
That would be, yes, especially since you can't even see them.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so, yeah, we got the violence out of the way. Let's talk about something a little bit more positive about video games. So, yeah, if anybody grew up during the Nintendo 64 era, there were these two games about dinosaurs called Turok. We are getting Turok 1 and 2 released on Xbox One, priced at $19.99 each. They are remasters and not remakes. And my screen is frozen. Wonderful.
Yay.
Things I do. Oh well.
Well, as far as I could tell from the video that they showed, remaster is kind of it's not exactly what I would call it. I mean, it looks. I got Turok 1 and 2. I think I have them on Steam. Like, I could check right now and see, but I'm pretty sure I have them on Steam, and it looked, from what I could tell from the footage, to pretty much be the PC version. You have much longer view distance, and you have options for higher resolution, and better control options. But other than that, I was just looking at it like, yeah, that's Turok. Like, all the textures are the same, all the models are the same. It's a 3D game. It scales pretty well.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember, I was in high school when Turok was becoming a thing. But yeah, I didn't really get into it. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, okay, Turok. Guy goes hunting for dinosaurs. Seems pretty basic.
Yeah, especially since we were talking about Jurassic World 3 about an hour ago.
I remember when Turok 2 was coming out, there was so much... Yeah, there are articles talking about the technology, like, hey, you shoot a dinosaur creature thing here, and a little bullet wound appears here, and a bullet comes out there, and a bullet wound appears there, and the fog is now not 15 feet away, it's 25 feet away. It's so amazing.
Even Shipman Dude was saying, like, I'm watching Decker on my Xbox One, so that's pretty cool.
And Omir 170 is like, do they read the chat? Do these assholes even read the chat?
Yes, so we do read the chat.
I don't. I just click over and do it. I'm going to check my Twitter. Fuck it.
Okay. Well, 101 people are watching us right now. 104. So thank you, everybody.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
All right. I guess if there's nothing more to talk about, we have one more, and this is a little bit different because this is actually a interesting project that was just announced just yesterday. So let me just click on that. Let me just screen share right here. So we have a Kickstarter for a little movie called Commando Ninja. Commando Ninja is a love letter to ultra-violent action movies from the 80s. Benjamin Cohn's crowdfunding project, Commando Ninja, is a satire based around the action movies from the 80s, back during the peak of ultra-violence. Movies such as Robocop, Predator, Pray for Death, Die Hard, Above the Law, and Bloodsport used to rule the box office without mercy. They feature big guns, big muscles, boobs, plenty of gore, and it's made to combine all of the best, made famous in the 1980s with flicks such as Revenge of the Ninja and Enter the Ninja, and fuse it with cyberpunk adventures like Jean-Claude Van Damme's Cyborg. And the trailer, the pitch video is actually right down here. I want to see if I could actually play this. First, I need to actually...
Is that going to be hitting the content ID and all stuff on YouTube's? I don't know. But...
yeah, that's actually a really good question. So maybe, okay, you know what? I don't want to risk that because maybe they'll be showing some stuff. But yeah.
It's like an indie thing, so maybe it could. Maybe it's not in the thing yet, and it'll show up fine. But I don't know.
I mean,
also, those are some interesting little figures they're selling on the side there. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna give it a go. Let me just actually click on my device.
I like the pillows down there as well.
Yeah. Let me just actually click on my device so I can actually have some decent.
We just leave it on that. We'll get all the views. just have that. Okay, they got a bed for the figure. That's nice.
I don't even know what this stuff is. All right,
oh,
I'm actually putting in. All right, hold on. I'm plugging this out
sideways, or what's going on?
I'm gonna go over to the Google Hangout thing. Let me just.
This is what Patricia has to do.
I'm actually gonna click on it. So.
You're gonna click on the little figures.
Let me see if I can actually increase the screen like such. There we go.
When a secret ninja organization rises.
On time as promised.
He is the only soldier. The only American.
Freeze, motherfucker, FBI!
Who is capable of taking them down. 50% commando. 50% ninja. 100% America. Eric Carluzzi is the Commando Ninja.
Got good news and bad news, John.
Good news first.
They murdered your ex-wife.
No more alimony.
And they took your kid.
They murdered his ex-wife.
No, I wrote him. I didn't order any.
Oh, wait. I can't show that.
They trapped his men.
There's a little bit there that was just couldn't show that.
What do you say to a black man in a uniform?
They took the only thing. If you wanted your kid back, John, then you better cooperate, right? He would go back to the future for him. No time. No ninja can stop him. Because only a commando ninja can kill her. Commando Ninja. Continue the adventure with Commando Ninja Cop, Commando Ninja's Mega Dog, and Commando Ninja's ex-wife versus the evil Dr. Z, each sold separately. Join the Kickstarter now on Kickstarter.com. Don't worry. I'll keep an eye on him.
So yeah, that was interesting.
I had to
let me
click
just actually
off real
turn
quick
my-
when the boobies came up, it's like, wait, hold on. No.
Let me actually put my microphone back on.
Okay.
Yes, there's some talk, people saying in the chat about, looks like, crap, now I can't remember the name of the movie all of a sudden. They were just saying it, and mine just goes blank at random. Why does it do that?
There we go, back to normal.
Kung Fury. It looked like, sort of like a Kung Fury 2. I don't think it's actually made by the same people. I was looking, because I was like, if it is, it should say that, but I couldn't find anything saying that it was. But it seems to be a pretty similar strategy. They have the really nice trailer, and they're like, Kickstarter, please.
Yes.
I kind of felt like I was watching this, and I was like, I kind of felt like this is the movie that someone would make if their target audience was Decker.
Yeah, pretty much. But at the same time,
the only
it's
person
kind
they
of
were
funny.
making this movie for was Decker.
Like a lot of the stuff, people saying, Kung Fury was a little disappointing because it was more comedy than actually action movie. And I'm looking at this thinking, how are people not thinking that's the case with this? Because yeah, it had some really nice action shots, and every single one of them was a homage to a previous action movie, meaning that they were all comedic shots.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I
yes,
mean, homage isn't always comedic, but I mean, in the context of this, it pretty much was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So currently it is going on Kickstarter, and I believe the amount of money they want to raise for this is around $18,000. So it was...
that's not that much. I mean, that's...
Yeah. Go ahead.
If my YouTube was at the range that it could have been after 6 years, and I was making in those PewDiePie monies, I could just be like, hey, I'll pay for that movie. Like that would work out, to have a Kickstarter aimed specifically at me. Like, hey, Decker, $18,000 and we'll make this movie for you. Sold.
Yeah. So I actually have the current the Kickstarter up right now. So if anybody is interested in looking this up, so here it is, Commando Ninja. Right now they are almost reaching their goal of $18,000. They have 15,672, and they have about 18 days to go. So
how much to actually be an actor in the movie?
Ooh. Let's see if maybe it actually says it. Let's see. We have $6 for your name in the credits, $12 for backstage access. I
see the euros.
$15 for HD movie, $20 for a poster, region-free Blu-ray, limited edition T-shirt, combo Blu-ray, limited VHS edition. Nice. Another combo, name in the opening credits, associate producer, co-producer, and I don't think they have anything about being in the movie. So sorry.
Lord Volko says 18,000 would be a trip to Japan. I'm thinking only if you actually want to buy your hotel stays and have them reserved beforehand, which you probably do want to do.
So yeah, that's I don't have anything else. If you guys are wanting to bring anything up that we can talk about right before we can conclude our live stream.
I think we covered it for this week. Yeah.
Shipman Dude says, I'd love to see a new Hellraiser movie review, straight to video to maintain the rights of Pinhead. It's like every once in a while, they're just like, crap, it's Hellraiser time again. Make a movie! Take this script. What is it? This is a romantic comedy. Whatever. It's a Hellraiser romantic comedy now.
Yeah. Right.
Just make the people die. I don't care. Just...
One day Decker's going to answer his phone and find out that Hollywood has exhausted every other resource, including Clive Barker. So they're coming to him now and asking for ideas on the new Hellraiser direct-to-DVD.
Right.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, if you're wondering, Gabriel Torres, what's the one that starred Chris Farley? It's called Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yeah, that's the one.
Luke1234 is asking, did you guys play No Man's Sky? And I can't anymore because every time I try to launch it, most of the time the game doesn't actually load. And when it does, it doesn't actually load the textures of the planet. So I really can't play unless I can play No Man's Sky blind, which I can't. They don't have actual tactile, like, I can feel around on the trees. I can't do that.
Right.
I haven't played it.
I haven't either. So
Oh.
I think on that note, we're done.
FunnyNet1231 actually says, "How about Scooby-Doo live action review, Mr.
Oh,
Decker?"
yay,
But
that'd be fun.
he's
Decker
asking
can
me, but at the
tackle
same time,
Monsters Unleashed.
Yeah, I
Creepy,
have
I know
done
you got some Scooby-Doos going on.
Right, I have done reviews for Scooby-Doo 1 and 2, the live-action films.
Yay.
I'm thinking that we should do a crossover of the Scooby-Doo review, and I can show up as Shaggy. That way, I can get all the snacks and get high as fuck.
You just have to cut your hair.
Start talking to my dog.
But you'll also have to cut your hair, and you'll have to be running a lot.
Oh.
Sorry. Sorry.
Anyway.
Anyway, so hey T-Kun, we're doing well, thank you.
Thank you.
T-Kun is one of our colleagues from Manic Expression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess if we don't have anything else to cover, then I guess we can start wrapping things up.
Oh yeah, we could just talk about all that we are working on as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I myself,
Whatever
I finally finished the reviews that were supposed to be done in November of 2017. Not Hellraiser, the Phantasm reviews. And moving on from that, I'm going to be getting into what was supposed to be Dino-cember. And I'm very sorry for that. I just finished watching the first movie that I'm going to be reviewing. And at the same time, I'm thinking like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's a little one you might have heard about called Raptor Ranch. I'm sitting there like, is it a 2? It had some okay effects and people died in fun ways, but oh god, this was so bad. It was just.
I feel like if Decker's going to go into this eventually, he's going to get to all of the live action dinosaur movies that were made for young kids.
I can't wait to.
Not heard of this. In America, it was called the Dinosaur Experiment, and that's technically the version I have. But Raptor Ranch makes more sense, and it's better alliteration.
Mm-hmm. It's the alliterative appeal.
Unless you consider growing dinosaurs to be an experiment.
That's weird.
I would assume it would be.
I mean, the experiment part will be the can I. But actively doing it and getting a little small army of dinosaurs, you've got a fucking Raptor Ranch, okay?
And now everyone wants to know, Decker, what would you do with your own small army of dinosaurs? And does that count as an army, a small army as in the small numbers, or small army as in the dinosaurs themselves are tiny?
Now I want to have a tiny dinosaur army. I want to have a T-Rex the size of a dog with a rifle strapped to his back.
Wasn't that an actual movie? Actually, I think it was several kids. Like there was a whole franchise of kids films that were about tiny dinosaurs. I think they had a Brachiosaurus.
Oh yeah,
a pterodactyl, and something else.
Was that it? We're Back.
You know the Weird Back was a film, but what I'm talking about was live action.
I thought it was a live action. I know a live action thing with a tiny dinosaur. It's like I had a little Brachiosaurus and it fits on my table.
Right, exactly. But We're Back was an animated film. So
damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I can't remember the name of it. I could have sworn it was We're Back.
Mm-hmm. Nope, We're Back was was animated.
But yeah, on the Gaming Channel, still doing Doki Doki Literature Club. Decided to see how things were with Natsuki because on my first playthrough, I ignored her completely, and I felt really bad by the end because she didn't do anything wrong, and she broke down crying. She was terrified and had to vomit and was running away, and then Monica's like, "Yeah, fuck it," and deletes her. And it's just terrible bad things happen to this poor little girl, and I'm like, "Hey, I'll be nice to her." And I found out if you're nice to her, you make her cry even faster. It's just things are not going well. I'm like, oh my god, the protagonist is so bad and dumb. And then I was actually mean to Sayori, and oh god, that was not a good thing. I'm just so emotional in this game.
Becker is unfamiliar with his Japanese tropes. I'm imagining watching play this and going like, no, don't be nice to her. Be careful around this one. This one is nuts. Do not do anything to her, okay? Because anything you do, good or bad, is going to end badly.
It's just there's just so many horrible things going. It's a horror game, but at the same time, it's like I feel really bad for these characters because you get time to get to know them and stuff.
Yeah.
But also still doing the live streams. I might be streaming tonight because since I couldn't really stream Wednesday, I decided to stream Tuesday. So that means technically it's just 4 days since the last stream.
Mm-hmm.
So probably should. Probably. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Patricia, what have you got going on?
She's away from the keyboard. That's what she's got going on.
Oh,
she's probably taking care of the doggy.
Yeah, that's true. We all heard the barking in the background. Doggy needed attention. Demanded it, in fact. But for me, I just put up... you mentioned the Scooby-Doo thing earlier. I had just put up another review yesterday, last night, in fact, and I'm working on the gym. The gym review was actually scripted first, but I got everything
Just
for...
real quick, I wanted to say Croissant Doughboy just gave $14.99.
Oh, thank you very much.
You.
There's no message attached, and I'm wondering if you meant for there to be a message.
Okay.
Oh, well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
And,
I put the Scooby-Doo review out first because I got all the stuff for it together first, but I got the everything I needed to do the gym review earlier today, so I'm editing that, and hopefully I'm planning on having that one up tomorrow sometime.
Thoth Phoenix asks, Mystery Incorporated review from Creepy when?
Eventually. I am actually looking forward to doing that one because Mystery Incorporated is my favorite. So when I finally do that one, I want to do it justice. Yeah. But I've got...
Okay, now Patricia... sorry.
I've got Scooby-Doo. I've got What's New Scooby-Doo and several more movies to do before I get to Mystery Incorporated. But yes, Patricia.
Not much going on for me, except that I'm still doing a lot of editing and co-hosting for a lot of podcasts right before I get to my actual content. I'm still doing the Aaron Meta Show. I'm still doing We're in Between, which is the weekly As Told by Ginger podcast that I do. It's almost finished. And I actually got the creator on board as a guest, which took a long time, considering that she's really busy. And after that, I think that I'll be working on a few videos that it's been on the back for a while. And also, I do have some audio podcast plays to edit for Manic Expression, one of which is actually for Creepy. So, hopefully really soon, maybe by the end of the month, I can actually start focusing on my actual content right before... maybe by the end of the month, hopefully. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
All right. Cracking. Okay, so.
Right before you go, we have another one. $4.99 from Tom Sawyer Pepper, who says, Decker, did you hear that they're making a new Tremors movie? Will we get a review when it comes out? We just spoke about it at the beginning of the live stream. You can listen to that when the archive is done, and I'm sure Decker will do a review of it eventually.
Oh, yeah. I want to review that ASAP. PSA. ASEOPFABLES.
BYOB.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you all for watching. This has been Live and Wired. Now, stuff. I need to actually remember what the send-off line was. Like, we got a really good one from the chat like 2 episodes ago.
I'm sure that if we look back on the archives, maybe we'll find it.
Yeah, so just got to research my own show. Just be like, okay, this was send-off line is what? What?
Live and Wired is now dead and unplugged.
Oh.
Okay.
Thank you all for joining us. And we'll see you next time when it flip down the thing and the zappy zaps go into the body and then he stands up like, and then I'm like, ha, we're streaming. That's how it works.
Yes.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.